Hello everyone, Irish Commander here, and welcome to the first Global War 1914 unboxing on my channel. So, as you can see, we got a pretty big box here. Now this isn't the map or the charts and whatnot, you know, the stuff you get when you... the only thing you actually get when you buy the game. This is what I ordered with that, but the main stuff was shipped separately and it hasn't arrived yet. But I just got home from work and I saw this sitting outside, so I thought I'd go ahead and break up the Global War 1914 unboxings into separate videos, since I think it's going to be 3 orders total for what I'm going to do. And you'll see what I'm going to do in the coming weeks as I continue to buy assets for this game. Alright, now let's see what's under the packing. Okay, so we've got a whole lot of stuff here to have a look at. So it actually looks like we have some of the pieces, or not pieces, the charts and whatnot. And it appears as if we have the random events and the rules in here. Now, I'm not sure. Now, I thought the charts and everything was going to be shipped with the map, but now I'm a little thrown off because it's actually in there. But yeah, we've got random events for that. I believe random events is unique to this game specifically since, well, yeah, I've never seen it in Global War 1936 before, but I think they're developing an expansion to make it in Global War 36. And of course we got our rule book. Very nice there. It's in gray, but you know, rule book's a rule book. Oh yeah, got that. Let's take a look at the rest of this stuff here, which I don't think we have any of our pieces, which is a little disappointing. But I will be getting that, hopefully with the map, so it shouldn't be too long of a wait for that. So we've got, you know, another random events booklet. Oh, I didn't realize that it actually came with a random events booklet. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have bought one. But hey, now we got 2, one to keep on each end of the table. And here we got the diplomacy chart. That looks really cool. We're looking forward to using that. Here's something pretty cool that I'm really looking forward to. And that is technology. As you can see here, we have different technologies. Poison gas being one. Armored vehicles, fighter evolution. We got some familiar ones being wartime economy, improved factories. You know, those are pretty familiar. But a lot of these are very new, because, you know, a lot of the stuff we take for granted in Global War 36 was actually being invented during this war, or at least being expanded upon. As you can see, armored vehicles. We got the first tanks. We got the first armored cars. So, expect that to be... I'm expecting that to be very different. And we got the neutral nations and all the information for them. I think the neutrals actually play a bigger role in this game than in Global War 36. Obviously, some of them, like Poland, play a big role in that game. But in this game, I think you can influence a few of these to join the war on your side. Maybe. I'm not too familiar with this game, which I'm looking forward to getting into it. so that way I can end up having different games to play. And of course, we've got our attack and defend battle boards. Of course, having, as I said earlier, different units, because it was, I think, roughly 20 years before the, I think this game, 20-something years before World War II. So we have a lot of different units and a lot less, advanced technology in this game. We've got, we've still got some familiar things, like I said, on the technology chart, but you can see we still have artillery, we still have submarines, a couple different types of ships. We still have, obviously, you still have infantry, obviously. You're going to have that throughout, I can't speak English today, people. You're going to have that throughout pretty much every game is infantry. That's your guarantee, but ships, tanks, fighters, those are all going to change depending on the time period. Alright, let's see here. We got the ship and facility production chart. Pretty simplistic. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I know the one for 1936 was printed on the map, but I don't think that one was for this game. I'll have to see when the map comes in, hopefully later this week. And we got our victory chart for this game. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's very nice. Of course, we have, as with a lot of things for this game, a lot of different objectives. A lot of them are different because, there were different countries involved. There were different things they were trying to achieve. Like Germany was trying to expand its empire rather than, trying to do what they were trying to do in World War II. I'm not going to say specifically what, but I think we all know what I'm talking about there. And, the Allies, or the Entente, they were trying to prevent that. They were trying to contain Germany. And then we've got the Soviets, or the Russian Revolution. And we all know their goal, spreading communism. And the last thing we got here is the IPP chart. So, yeah, it's very different. I can see here we got 3 different turns per year. Pretty cool. I like that. Wait, you can't see it. You can see we got spring, summer, and then fall/winter in the same year. So we got 3 turns per year. It's really cool. Obviously, I think that was done to draw this game out a little bit, because World War II was, let me see, I think it was 6 years long, from 1939 to 1945. And then this game, start in summer of 1914 and you go all the way, well, it actually ended in fall of 1918, or winter, depending on, what you consider November to be in. Because I do think they did surrender in November, I'm pretty sure. So whatever you consider that month to be a part of, they surrendered in late 1918. But yeah, I think they did that, adding an extra round to each year. I think they did that specifically to draw this game out. Because, first off, it was a very bogged down war. It was very slow on all the fronts. So I guess they did that to kind of show that it was pretty slow. So obviously, we're going to have a lot less time passing between turns, or less months passing between turns, I guess you could say. And, you know, we're going to see how that plays out. I'm not too familiar with the 1914 rules. If, you know, there is any benefits to launching an attack in specific months. I'm not sure, you know, if there are advantages or disadvantages for attacking in certain parts of the year. That would be cool, but I feel like that's a little too advanced for a game like this. Which, Global War, any of the Global War games, in my opinion, are just going to be advanced anyway. Like, they're probably the most advanced series of games I've seen out of any game. Global War 1936, that is the most advanced game I've ever played. And, you know, I don't think I'm going to be getting into Global War 85 anymore, but I'm sure it's also on par with these two. And 1914, I'm sure once I start reading the rules and, you know, get into buying stuff for it and realizing what each country needs, I'm sure I'll realize, like, that it is, you know, still as complicated, just a different set of rules for complexity. I don't even know if what I just said made sense, but I'm sure you guys understand what I'm trying to say. It's the same idea of a game, just different time period, different circumstances, and different technology. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying 1914 out. Obviously, I've still got quite a bit to buy for it. I'm going to be using my Global War 36 units for, you know, each country's armies, because I don't have enough money or time to dedicate to making armies for each nation. As much as I would like to do that, I can't reasonably afford to do that with my time or my money. But I can afford to you know, buy the markers, buy the flags if they're different and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see where this goes whenever I get a chance to play this. So later on this week, hopefully, expect to see a new video on the part 2 of this order. Until then, this is Irish Command. Excuse me, everybody. I forgot how to speak today. So, take 2 on that. Until the next unboxing, this is Irish Commander signing off. Well, we're back, everyone. I initially was going to upload the previous segment as its own video and then save this for when this package came in. But I decided, you know what? I was just going to wait because I checked the tracking and it was only about 2 days apart, or going to be 2 days apart. So I decided, you know what? I don't need to get these videos uploaded in a consistent manner, so I'm just going to wait. Which, that proved to be very good, because other than what's in here, we do have the map, and I'll try my best to show it off here in a little bit. But first, we're going to have a look at the other stuff I ordered. So this is for the new Combat, Engineers expansion that Historical Board Gaming put out, the first version 4 expansion. Now, I wasn't going to get this originally, or anything else for Global War 36, but this I made an exception for, much like the Confederate expansion. I thought this was an interesting concept, and it wasn't that expensive, and it is also the first V4 expansion, as I said earlier. So because of that, I decided to get it. I thought, hopefully I'll get to try it out here soon, when I get moved up to my new house. And here we got some more units for Poland, some extra infantry, naval units, just to give them some options. And when I was setting them up, I noticed it took up most of my infantry just to set it up. So that's why I got some extra ones there. And in here we do actually have something relating to World War I. We have chlorine gas, phosgene gas, I think I said that right. And of course the infamous mustard gas. So maybe I'll get to use these in my first Global War 1914 game. These are 2 extra things. I don't need these, but one of them I wanted to get to test out some paint, and I'll show you that in just a second. But I've started buying capital cities, and this is for Cape Town, South Africa. And this was one of the very few that I was missing that I actually wanted, and I saw that Historical Board Gaming had it, so I decided to pick one up. And then this, oh, I'm excited for this. Look under here, you see Georgia. This isn't the USS Georgia, this is the CSS Georgia. And you're probably wondering, well, why is it called the CSS Georgia? Well, this is for the Confederate States expansion, and I'm pretty sure it comes with a set of units, or you can probably buy a set of units for it. But I saw that they had a couple of these already up on the site, individual units. So I decided to get one to paint and see which color I wanted to use for my Confederate units. I was going to do red, but then I found out, I've already got a couple of different countries that use red, that I was going to do gray, and found, well, I've already got the Turkish who use dark gray, I've got the Germans who use black, and then I've got the Axis miners who use light gray. So, and then I can't leave them unpainted because, it'll look too similar to the Axis miner forces, which I doubt that the Axis miners will ever interact with the Confederate units, but still, just in case. I might do something crazy and launch a Confederate invasion into Greece or something like that. But yeah, this is just to have that and get it tested, or the colors tested. I have one picked out, but we got to see, I want to see how similar it is to my French colors, because it is a sort of a grayish kind of blue. So yeah, that'll be something we test at a later date. Not today, since it's raining and you can't really spray paint inside without it getting, the fumes getting everywhere, and I'll have all kinds of problems having that done. So in the meantime, we're going to have a look at the 1914 map. Now, this, it's a little smaller than my other map, but I ordered the 4x8, so this should be the 4x8. If I can get the saran wrap off, we'll have a look. And, yep, finally got it. Oh, this starts on the west coast of the U.S. instead of the east coast. So I'm gonna actually move this box right here. I got a couple things off camera that I'm moving, so that way we don't have much interference with unrolling this. And I can't unroll all of it because of limited space. So let's see, what do we have here? So this is the Pacific side. There's obviously not much difference so far. Oh, but up here in the side, I can already see there's one difference. So let's roll this up just a bit and push that out even more. Okay, so Japan looks roughly the same, but if you look here, they got less colonies. Look over here. They got control over part of New Guinea. And let me roll this up even more. Roll it out a little. If you look at China, oh, about lost, my camera just about lost its balance. You look at China here, their warlords are a little bit different. And then we've got, you can see, well, you can't really see it, but over here we've got the Russian Empire. Still rocking on and holding on to its existence. Far East Command looks roughly the same. Now this is where stuff's gonna really start to get interesting. You can see Iran is starting out, or Persia rather, starting out under control of different factions. You can see the Ottoman Empire is still here. That'll be a new country we get to play as in this game. Well, that's interesting. Armenia is actually a territory on here. Oops. Uh-oh. Don't let the Turks in there. I don't know why they added it. I don't know if it was for that purpose or, you know, just to show that the Ottomans did campaign into modern-day Armenia. But yeah, you can see Ottoman Empire still here. Saudi Arabia doesn't exist yet. And I'll show you down here real quick. We got some German colonies down in Africa. And we're just starting to get to Europe here. Gotta roll it up just a little bit more to show off the wonderful European continent. Once again, no Luxembourg. But you can see the German Empire and the let me see if I can get it. The Austro-Hungarian empires here. We have no Finland, no Poland, no Baltic states just yet. None of them have come into existence. But we do have Montenegro, Serbia. They're still a thing since, you know, Yugoslavia hasn't formed yet. Yugoslavia came into existence, I think, in 1920, after a bunch of territories agreed to unite with Serbia and Montenegro to become the whole Yugoslav nation. And yeah, there's not really too much else to show. Spain, actually. Briefly talk about Spain. So there's no civil war, which is a little crazy to think about. That, you know, something we're so used to in these games is seeing, you know, the Spanish Civil War, the Japanese versus the Chinese. We're so used to seeing stuff like that. And, you know, the German Anschluss of Austria and Czechoslovakia. We're so used to seeing stuff like that, that probably the first time I play this, I'm going to get thrown off by it. And for those of you who are wondering, the sort of Spanish Civil War of this game, the prequel expansion, I am planning on getting it. I think I'm going to order it next week. So I'll be showing off that to you guys. And if we just look down here at the Americas real quick, you can see, I wonder why this is the case, that some of them are white instead of their regular color, and then you got some over here like Brazil and Peru, and even Mexico, if you can see it. They still got their standard colors, when others got their kind of grayed colors, the grayed hues. That's a little strange. I do kind of like the orange-ish color, the tannish orange up in Canada. I do like that. That's really nice. But yeah, this is just a quick look and preview of the 1914 map and game I'm going to be playing eventually, as well as a look at some of the new units for Global War 36 with the Polish units, the Engineers expansion, the Cape Town building. I guess you could say the Confederate battleship here is also for World War II. Alternate history, but still World War II. And the only other thing in here than the map that we got for World War I or Global War 14 is the different types of poisonous gases. So yeah, guys, that's second half of this unboxing. Hopefully next week we will have everything we need to play this game. I'm hoping we'll have everything. So yeah. Until we meet again, this is Irish Commander signing off.